Cheers, and welcome to today's edition of Coffee with Kelly, where we're going to talk all about how to help our kids when they've made a mistake or they've messed something up and now they're being really hard on themselves. Ugh, it's the worst, right? Watching our kids make mistakes and then beat themselves up about it. So, oh my goodness, we're going to cover it all. Coming right up. And a big thank you to Lisa from the Cayman Islands for submitting today's question. And she asks, I'd love some advice on helping my daughter deal with her emotions. When she makes a bad choice, she really takes it hard on herself and says she's a bad person and that she doesn't like herself. I tell her that she's definitely not a bad person and that she makes so many good choices, that we all make bad choices sometimes, and we just have to apologize and make different choices next time. We also like to tell her that bad feelings are only temporary, like clouds in the sky. They are there, but after a little while, they go away. Oh my goodness, Lisa, this is so hard. It's so hard, isn't it? This negative self-talk. And it amazes me how, just even thinking about it in my own life, how that like negative thought track always seems to be playing in there, and just how it does the same for our kids and how our kids can have this negative self-talk from such a young age. So you're absolutely not alone in having to fight this battle. And it sounds like you're absolutely on the right track, reminding her that she is a good person and that she does make a lot of really good choices. And I also really loved your analogy of feelings being like clouds in the sky. So they're very real and they're very present, but over time they break up and drift away. They're only temporary. I love that analogy. And I would really like to steal that from you. So if you wouldn't mind, if I could have your permission to use that, I think that's awesome. I think that's a really great way to explain it to our kids. So thank you for that. And when we're looking at our kids' negative self-talk, it can come from a variety of different places, but two really big ones that also apply to us adults in our lives and with our negative self-talk is all or nothing or black and white thinking. Thinking I have to be the best friend all the time and I always have to be polite and I always have to be on, or I'm a bad person and I'm a terrible friend, or I have to get first at the swimming meet, or I'm useless and terrible and I might as well quit. That all or none black and white thinking is a huge driving force behind negative self-talk. Another big driving force is perfection. And even our littlest kids can start showing signs of perfection, of feeling like if it can't be up to my standards or wherever I feel like the bar is set, that I'm crap, or throwing in the towel and just saying it's not worth doing. So I just be aware if you see any of that cropping up, because having that awareness will then help you in combating it moving forward. And then practically, like what to actually do about it. I think the first thing is I'm laughing because I'm having all these thoughts. This is what we do. I know I'm kind of like sidetracked here, but this is what we do, isn't it? It's like our kids are upset or our kids make a mistake and they're being really hard on ourselves and we want to fix it, right? And as quickly as possible, we just want to make it go away because we know our kids are awesome. We know our kids aren't bad people. We know our kids have really good intentions and we don't want them to feel otherwise because we know the truth, right? So sometimes we can dismiss what they're feeling. Oh, you're great at that and don't worry about that and you're a really good friend. Totally dismissing what they're feeling. So first up, just really listen and validate what they're feeling. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but even just a simple statement of you don't think your painting was good enough, or you think you're a bad friend, or you think that wasn't nice, just sending the message that you can see their point of view and you understand where they're coming from. And like I said, you don't have to agree with whatever they're saying, because if their self-talk is influenced by perfectionism or black and white thinking, their logic could be faulty. They could not have an accurate picture of what actually happened. So in those cases, after I've listened and after I validated, I'll try offering up some facts. Say it's something like swimming lessons and they're so upset and they're so hard on themselves because they belly flopped or they didn't get up the guts to do that dive into the deep end that they wanted to do and they just think they're a terrible swimmer and they want to quit some swimming lessons and being really hard on themselves. After listening and validating what they're feeling, I would go through and start commenting on all the progress they've made, all the little steps and strides they've made to get them up into... My dog is like scratching the carpet on the stairs. Can you hear that? Hopefully you can't hear that. Sorry, distracted. He's like digging. It's like he's digging a bed. Can you hear that? Dogs. Anyway, interrupting my vids. Jeez. But I guess if you were here in my kitchen, you would be able to hear my dog scratching, so hey, whatevs. So whatever the situation is that she's struggling with or being really hard on herself for, reminder of the progress she's made, reminder of the good deeds she's done in the past, and how far she's come. And it's also a really great reminder that you can be really good at something, you can be a really good person, and still make mistakes. Like, the two are not mutually exclusive. It's a really great reminder that we all are constantly learning and growing from our mistakes, that it's not so much the mistake that you make or the misstep that you make, it's what you do about it after. The other thing too, I think we can do sometimes is we always talk about being real, the importance of being real and being really authentic, but us parents, we're not so great at that. We're not so great at that, especially when it comes to encouraging our kids to do new things, because what do? It's like our kids are hesitant to go to a sleepover. And it's like, oh, you're going to have the best time and you'll have so much fun and you're going to make so many new friends. Or we're trying to encourage them in a new sport or a new activity. And we're really like beefing it up and making it seem like it's going to be this super magical thing without acknowledging at all that it may be a little bit scary and there may be a few little bumps along the way. So I think we need to be a little bit more real about preparing our kids for what to expect when they're going into new situations, and preparing our kids that, you know what, you have a new best friend, you're probably not going to love them every day, and it's not uncommon for you to have a few hiccups or a few quarrels. That's just part of life. And again, it's not about the quarrel. I don't know why I'm saying quarrel. I don't know what's wrong with me today. So it's like the dog scratching has just totally thrown me off. Anyway, it's not about the fight. It's about how you get through it and how you move forward working together. So be real, talk about the process, talk about the progress instead of focusing on like some magical hypothetical outcome. It all comes back to like forgetting about perfection. Instead of focusing so much on the end goal, really put a lot of value and a lot of emphasis on the process and the progress your kids are making, little by little, step by step, building on those little wins all along the way. And if you find she's really prone to that like all or nothing black and white thinking, you could help put things into perspective for her by sharing some of your own personal experiences. It goes a long way to normalizing for our kids that what they're experiencing is not crazy. There's not anything wrong with them, that everybody experiences these little hiccups in life. And doing that really helps them feel like they're not alone in their struggle, and that if you got through it, then they can get through it too. And last thing before we go, I just really challenge you to take note of your own negative self-talk, to take note of how you speak about yourself around your daughter, and how you talk about your interactions and relationships with your friends, or how you approach challenging situations, because lots of times we're sending messages we don't even realize we're sending. If we're constantly talking about how we look, or we're constantly fixated on our mistakes, our kids notice that and pick it up and emulate it. So be kind to yourself, be kind to yourself, be kind to yourself, because you, my friend, are awesome. So just keep that in mind. So Lisa, thank you so much for submitting today's question. I really hope that helps. Just try to take note if you notice any all or nothing thinking, any signs of perfectionism. Really listen and validate what she's expressing to you, and then give her a reality check if she needs it. Remind her of those great qualities she has. It sounds like you're already doing a fantastic job of that. And be real, and be real in focusing on the hiccups and bumps of life, and sharing your own personal experiences and how you found a way through it. Of course, any questions or comments, please leave them in the section down below. And if you would like to have your question featured on an upcoming episode, you can leave it in the comments. You can DM me, tag me on social media using the hashtag coffeewithkelly. And thank you for joining me today. Thank you. Always a pleasure. I really do mean that. And I'll check you around. I'll see you around. Bye for now.